All right, guys. You might be wondering, why is Logan opening the episode? Logan doesn't usually open Buffy's Angels. And yesterday, when we recorded the episode, I didn't open Buffy's Angels. But then I went to go get the episode together and I realized I deleted the episode. So now we're here Thursday, the day that we usually record Buffy's Angels. And Daniel is not. Daniel's gone missing. He's gone today. But I brought in I was gonna try to use a baseball term that they use when is it called like a pinch hitter? Is that a thing? I
Hmm.
don't know. But I
Yeah,
brought in
that
one of
is a thing.
those. And this is probably the best one you could ever bring in my opinion.
Hmm.
If I could replace Daniel with this person, I probably would. But
Wow.
never, I should edit that out because you guys are gonna expose me. But Daniel will never listen, so I feel comfortable saying that.
Yeah.
Maybe he will. He actually might listen to this. Why wouldn't he? This is the first time I've ever done this with somebody else. So I don't know why I'm still talking as if you don't know who I'm doing this with. Like you're like, who are Logan's
Oh, who
friends?
could it? Oh, did they get Joss to come on? Did they get Xander? Like, who could it be? Did they Oz? Did Steph Green join
Steph
the?
Green. I was so confused, but I almost didn't even want to acknowledge what you were saying. So I was like, is he stupid right now, or is that a joke I don't get?
All right.
Turns out you were just stupid. By the way, this is Tim. You guys all know Tim. Hey
Yeah. Hey,
Tim.
like 0.0 people are surprised that Tim is the guest. The only person you guys have on as a guest regularly and or co-host or whatever you want to call
Or
me.
at
Thank you
all.
for having me on Buffy's Angels. I'm excited. I'm almost as excited as Logan hooking up with a chick who has a boyfriend. Did that for Daniel, who's not listening.
All
You
right,
can you
guys.
can believe you can believe that.
Could you imagine if I tried to get like I've thought about this. Um, we're gonna talk at the end of this episode about making Buffy a real show. I've been wanting to tell you guys about that all month, but I feel like Daniel has been um like not really wanting to talk about it. I don't know, but stay tuned to the end of this episode, and I'll tell you guys all about plans for the future of Buffy. But could you imagine if we like went to Joss or who's the guy that plays Xander? Forgot his name.
Uh, I said Xander because I don't remember his name either. I unlike Daniel, I have seen Buffy multiple times, but I am not. My brain is not good. I can't even. I mess up Steph Green and I say O instead of zero. Um, so my brain is not good. So I can't remember. I think his name's Alexander something, right?
No, that's his name on the show, Xander,
Oh,
Alexander. His name is Nicholas Brendan. I looked it up.
oh, Nicholas Brendan. He has a twin
But
brother. Do you know this?
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about these two Buffy episodes. I think Buffy's really good, and I
Wait,
think
what? You watched two Buffy episodes?
sorry,
We're supposed to
sorry,
be watching a
sorry.
Buffy and Angel.
Yeah, no. Sorry. Again, bad brain. I'm excited to talk about a really good Buffy episode and a not very good Angel, but it
Oh.
gives one of the most iconic moments of the opening credits.
Yeah, Daniel talked about that, and I didn't really know what he was talking about.
Oh, you didn't know? Maybe
No.
Uh, oh yeah, it's a big moment. It's like when Faith and Buffy danced. That'll be in the opening credits for the rest of the show. You'll see Faith every single episode going forward, just in the opening credits. Um,
By the way,
but yeah,
um, we talked about yesterday with Daniel. Daniel's brain isn't good either when it comes to Buffy because if you guys remember, Daniel said a couple weeks ago when we saw Parker get hit over the head in
yeah,
that caveman episode, he said that
mhm,
was Parker's last episode.
yeah.
And it was not. Parker's in this episode. And when I saw Parker, I was like, oh, Daniel's so stupid. Daniel said even in that moment, he felt shame when he saw Parker show up. He knew that I was going to roast him.
So it'll be good. We'll talk about these Buffies. Logan will tell me what Dan taught him yesterday, and
Yeah.
we'll make it up. This will be probably the second most famous lost episode of the franchise to date, and of course, number one, Logan with a bullet. Do you know what that is?
No.
Well, it's the one and only Ivan, the We Love Kids movie
Oh,
episode that Dan
And then I was
Uh,
on when you guys did the redo.
yeah, we did the redo, which was horrible because it was a great episode, and fucking Dan didn't plug his stupid laptop in, and it depowered at the end.
Man.
So,
Hey, and Henry never had to redo an episode.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they should have redone most of them because the audio quality is so horrible.
Oh man.
I love how you go back and like I've gone back to try to listen to old episodes, and I'm just like, oh my god, how did how did anybody listen to these? So
There's one
torn.
episode where they have a guest on. I think
Yes,
it's like
yeah, I know.
it's like Alien or Blade Runner or something like that. And it is unlistenable. Like
Oh,
like it's an episode I've always wanted to listen to, and I just can't. I can't power through it. I think it might be Blade Runner, if I had to guess.
there's there's some later on in the show where like Dan just moves and it makes like a clicking noise or it makes like this static, and he is just like he's apoplectic. He's so upset. Like, but I have to say, Logan, I'm so glad you're the host. Even though I like Henry, he's fine. He didn't ever like me, so I like that you like me and you
I
have good
love you.
audio quality. Oh, I love you too, Logan. So
You are the person that told me even about the franchise. You remember that?
that's insane. No, I don't
There was
remember
like a
that.
tweet one time. You tweeted about the franchise, and I was like, "What is
Is
this? A
that?
new podcast?" And then I listened to an episode. I was like, "All right, this is I like these guys."
Yeah.
Kept listening.
Do we know each other at that point? I don't.
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like
I started listening in
yes.
like 2018.
Yeah, no, but I mean, what did you listen to? What were you listening to? The Tribe? Like how did
We from Twitter from yeah, I
well
made
just
like the
Twitter?
haiku fishback Twitter account and
Okay,
during
hey
second
Logan,
chances. That was
Logan.
2015.
Look, I had a lot more Twitter followers at the time, and a lot more people like interacting with me daily. So
Oh, we
not the
knew each
humble
other.
brag. Um,
We talked all the time,
okay, good. We talked all the time. I
all the
totally
time.
remember haiku fishback or whatever the hell you just said.
You don't remember that?
No,
Oh, I thought that you did remember that.
no.
All right, now I sound lame. All right, we're gonna talk about Buffy. You guys ready?
Hey, did you tell that chick about haiku fishback?
I
Be like,
did, I
yo,
did. I said, well, we were. Never mind. That's so
she's like,
funny.
well, my boyfriend created the Fat Tyson.
I was like, oh yeah, you don't know who's behind Haiku Fish Bag, do you? And then I started spitting out haikus. Oh man, I think that would work actually. All right, Buffy the Initiative.
Mhm.
What do you think? You think this is a good episode?
I like this episode a lot, and it's an important episode. I think we're like,
Hugely
hey,
important.
we got rid of Oz, and now we're gonna start cooking. And a lot of I was excited to watch this episode and know that like, ooh, a lot of these things Logan's been like wondering about get answered in this episode.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like the first half, we were dealing a lot with Oz's stuff and with Parker, and now those people are out of the show, and now they answered a lot of the questions I had, and it
Well,
seems like this
well,
is going to be the second half of the season.
well, Parker's not actually out of the show. He just showed up again, and Riley
But Dan
punches
said he's
him.
gone now. Dan said this was his
Oh
last
yeah,
episode.
well, that's what Dan, the quote unquote expert, thinks.
I asked him if he looked on IMDb to really make sure before he sounded dumb a second time, but he said no. He said he's positive this is his last episode.
All right. Well, hey, and a big change in the whole world of Buffy. This is a big moment, Logan. These opening credits changed, and who's in these opening credits?
Yeah, I told Daniel asked me the same question. I told him that I didn't watch ever since
Oh,
I
you're
thought that
stupid, dude.
ever since I thought Oz was turning into a vampire. I stopped watching. I didn't want to get spoiled on anything.
Dude, don't do that. You got to watch one. Do you watch the Angel credits?
Yes, but then he told me that moment, and I didn't know what he was talking about
Oh my God, it's like the last moment before it says Angel.
when he's like
Uh,
walking down the dark hallway, dark
no,
alley.
it's right before that. He like kicks in the door and like the door flies off the hinge. Um,
Okay.
like at the bachelor party, he's got vampire face. He
Yeah,
kicks in,
after he gets thrown out the window.
yeah, and he kicks it so hard that like the frame of the door falls off too.
Yeah, I
Um,
know what you're talking about.
yeah, that's like that's like gonna be in every single episode of Angel moving forward. You'll see that moment because it's a badass David Boreanaz moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we're not on Angel yet. Let's go
yeah,
back to
yeah,
Buffy.
yeah. We can go back.
The initiative. Um, I thought we both thought this was a great episode too. I guess we'll save where Daniel ranked it and everything.
Sure.
But all right, so we meet a couple of Riley's friends. We meet a guy Graham, and we meet oh man, this his name was Forrest. Daniel told me his name was Forrest. What do you think about these guys? Daniel went into like this whole thing about how Forrest he didn't like Forrest. He thought that Riley should have had two white friends was what he told me. And I
What?
sort of pushed back on that. I was like, Daniel, we got to have some diversity on the show. But he said
This
no, he wants Buffy to be all white people. It was really weird.
Whoa, I don't this doesn't sound like you. So are you virtue signaling here, Logan? Sounds like the opposite of you, to be honest. But
No, no, I was just making stuff up.
yeah, no, they're fine. Yeah, no, Buffy with a black person on the show, and
I asked him, I said, was this the first black person? And he reminded me, no, obviously, Mr. Trick.
yeah, Mr. Trick, right?
I forgot about Mr. Trick. How could
Yeah,
I do
Mr.
that?
Trick. It was like in 4 episodes. So yeah,
Yeah, Faith, Hope, and Trick.
yep, Trick.
Rank those three: Faith, Hope, Trick.
Well, Faith number one with a bullet, right?
Number one
And
with
then
a knife
Trick,
in the gut, right?
yeah, knife in the gut, falling into a garbage truck. Then I would go with Mr. Trick, and then I would go with Hope because I don't remember who Hope is.
He was like the cute guy that she liked for an episode or
Oh
two.
well, fuck her, whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, we met those guys at lunch and they're all like, look at all these sexy ladies at school. We've got our
Oh,
pick of anybody we want. And they're like, look
yeah,
at Buffy over there, all sexy. And
we're we're college dudes and we got big boners, so we're horny for everyone. Ooh, baby.
yeah, that is literally what they're doing. And they keep using a word throughout the
Yeah,
episode, peculiar. You like
yeah,
that word?
yeah. She's peculiar, and I like when Force is like, "Oh, do you want to bed this one?" It's
Yeah,
like,
Forrest
all
is like really going hard. Forrest
super,
is so
but yeah,
horny.
these guys are so misogynistic, and I also like you should have included instantly, like when Riley's like, "Oh, gee, I don't know, I think she's kind of swell."
Cued into what? That he liked her?
Yeah, yeah, that he
I was
liked
cute.
her,
I
right?
know that. Yeah.
Well, this is the first episode where he like likes her and all. You thought he was a bad guy the whole time, or maybe he is a bad guy. Who knows?
We actually got into this, Daniel and I. Because I thought it was this moment where he realized that he liked her, and Daniel thought it was later, like when he punches Parker, like that was the moment where he realized. But I think if you like somebody, then like 1 day difference or whatever wouldn't change the how you feel. I feel like he liked her definitely here in this moment.
Doesn't he punch Parker after he talks to Willow when she's all depressed in the room? Like, I feel like
No,
he. No, oh, okay, never mind.
yeah, looking at my notes, that happens a little later, but
Okay.
yeah, I think it's here. I think it's when they're all talking about how she's just an object, and he's like, "Well, I think she's peculiar. She's yeah, swell, like you said, or whatever."
Yeah. Oh, dang, she's so swell, and meanwhile, what she's got like she's doing the Chevy Chase soft serve thing from Community, where like the soft serve won't stop coming out, and they're all like, "Oh, she's such a weirdo," and meanwhile, she's like the hottest person alive.
Yeah, seriously. I was thinking about that Big Brother challenge from Big Brother 15. Do you remember that?
Go ahead. What?
Where
What?
they just catch ice cream in their mouth through the whole episode, and it's like a big Gina Marie. She's like
Oh
going
yeah.
through a lot that in that
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, yeah. She caught a
Great
lot of
stuff.
ice cream. Hmm.
All right, but then all right, so we see Spike. Oh yeah, but you didn't you asked me earlier about the opening credits, and I
Yeah.
missed it. Daniel had to tell me that Spike is now a regular on the show, and I didn't I sort of thought he'd be on Angel now. To be honest, I thought he was
Yeah, no,
making the jump to Angel.
that was fun listening to you say that and think that Spike is going to be Angel, but no. Spike
Yeah,
is a Buffy guy, and Spike is maybe my favorite Buffy character.
ever.
Yeah, I think Spike is great. I love Spike, and only going to get better moving forward, even though he's been uh uh whatever's happening with his brain.
Yeah,
Um, it's hard to be Daniel and not say exactly what's going to happen
yeah.
in every episode. So I'm
But
trying.
I love Spike too. I love this episode. Spoiler alert. I loved when she was bad. That other
Mhm.
episode where he
No,
pops back up in.
You've loved Spike the whole time, so he's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
He's good.
he
He's a
might be my
good.
favorite too, aside from
Yeah.
Buffy. But Spike, he wakes up in a glass case. And did you think about a movie when you watched this scene?
Oh yeah, totally. I thought of what is it? Thor Ragnarok or Thor? What's the one where Loki is in the case? Is that Thor 2, The Dark World?
That is Thor to the Dark World, but that's not what I was talking about. Thor to the Dark World. I was talking about the Cabin in the Woods, the Joss Whedon
Oh,
movie.
oh, you mean the thing that like totally ripped this off completely? It looks like they reused the set.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because he obviously got that idea from this, I feel like.
Yeah,
Um
yeah,
but,
yeah. The
but that
initiative.
was very cool. I loved all that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um
You liked all the demons, all or the hostile 17 and everything.
yeah, but yeah, I mean we sort of touched on it, but I was sort of right, but completely opposite direction. Walsh is like seems like the leader of this thing with Riley as like her apprentice sort of, but they seem like good guys. It seems like they track down supernatural beings, which is a
Yeah,
good thing.
yeah. I mean, I guess when you live near the Hellmouth at Sunnydale University, it would be good to hunt down all these people that are killing college people and
Yeah,
city people.
and Daniel pointed out like they're probably doing a better job than Buffy is because Buffy's just killing everybody. They're actually keeping them alive and trying to do some science possibly and figure out
I
what's happening.
I guess, but like, here's my question: is well, what is your theory? What's going on with Spike?
Well, I don't really have a theory that much. I just feel like he's a vampire that they captured. I'm not sure what a
But
theory would be.
I mean, but you didn't think at all like why can't he bite Willow or
Well,
what?
they say that they injected him with something.
Yeah, okay, good. Uh,
They say like the thing is working. He can't hurt
yeah,
anybody.
yeah. Walsh says, "Did my implant work?"
Right.
And Riley says like, "Yeah, you can't bite anyone, and you can barely even punch." And it's like, yeah. So what? Like, here's my question, Logan.
Mhm.
Why is that a good thing? Is this a good thing? Like, why do they want to like? Is it a catch and release? Like, are they being kind to vampires?
Well, that doesn't seem kind to make them worthless, basically, does
Well,
it?
I mean, they don't just kill him like Buffy. I mean, Buffy just murks every vampire she finds, right? Like,
Right.
um, my question to you is why not just kill every vampire? Like, they're evil, right? They don't have only Angel is the one with the soul, right? And he's
Right.
good. So then, what's the benefit to keeping a vampire alive?
Well, I don't think they thought he was just going to run off and be Spike again. I think they were possibly going to do more tests on him.
Yeah, like they were okay. So then, do you think they would have just murdered Spike and been like, "Hey, this thing can work, and we can,
I don't think they would
use
have killed him.
no?"
Like they would have tested him and used him for all that he was worth and then killed him, you think?
Yeah, I doubt they would have killed him because he is in the opening credits of the show. So
Yeah, that's a good point. But I'm not sure. But at the end of the episode he's free, right? He's not there anymore.
yeah, he runs away, right? Like
Right.
he can't bite. You right? Like
Yeah,
they're fighting in the dark in the dorm room, and he runs away, and then Buffy saves him, right? Like Buffy beats up the army guys because she
right.
thinks they're bad. Yeah.
Right.
And
Um
then they're all like, "Oh man, there was this big giant dude who kicked our ass because we're bros, and a little hot peculiar girl could never beat us up."
I guess I haven't really thought about that. Like what they would have done after this but do they do that on basically they're just neutralizing everything that's bad.
I don't know. Good question.
Yeah.
I just
Um
was wondering if you had thought about it at all, and yeah,
hmm. Not too much.
I don't think
Benevolent.
this is spoilery at all. So
No.
just
I don't think so either.
no, I'm saying that if
Daniel
Dan's
spoiled
listening
way
and
more.
he's like, "Yeah, Dan ruins a bunch of shit,"
Dan, if you go back and listen to episode 1, Daniel spoils something pretty major.
I'm going to tell you right now, Logan. I went back and listened to like Hubie Halloween. I've been prepping for the next Hubie Halloween, and Dan and I talk like major Angel spoilers, like throughout the whole episode, and you're just sitting there listening to them all.
Oh,
Um,
I was not taking that in ever.
yeah, exactly, which is great. So I'm just like, so I'll
That's funny.
text you and be like, Logan, don't listen to this episode again because it ruins like every like Dan and I full on talk about all of these things from Angel.
In any franchise episode, Dan references Buffy the way I would talk about Sweet Life of Zack and Cody or 13
Yeah,
Reasons Why or something. And
yeah,
he because I've done it. I've listened to previous episodes, and he'll sometimes like go into detail. It was like, yeah, there's like this episode where Buffy and Xander do this, and like sometimes I'll like hit this like 15 or 30 seconds ahead button because I don't want to get spoiled on it.
yeah.
Anytime he brings up Buffy, I have to skip ahead.
Yeah, you should. It's dangerous, especially me and him, because we'll like we'll just like talk about the most random stuff, but it's like huge spoilers. Like we were talking about like season 3 Angel spoilers and stuff.
Can I tell you
So
something I know that I'm gonna take out of the podcast?
sure, bleep it.
Okay. In an early episode of, I think it's episode 1 of Buffy's Angels, I said, doesn't, and Daniel said no.
Mm.
So I know that that's coming at some point. So
Oh
that
well, yeah, I mean,
mhm.
I mean, I feel like you knew that from like that article that came out about why Joss is a horrible person, and
that
that
that's
was
why that's why I asked him because that was like one of the
that's
things I had heard
that's
about.
like
And
the number.
but the fact that he told me no, it happens here, but like that's annoying kind of. You
Well,
know,
I
he
mean,
could have just said no, that's not true or something.
yeah, he totally, yeah. No, like I think if you go back and listen to the first like 10 episodes of Buffy's Angels, it's like you guys don't realize you're going to cover Angel or something because he is throwing out a bunch more. There's like stuff where I had texted him, I'm like, hey, don't stop saying this. Like, this is an obvious like spoiler, but like then it's like, oh, well, he's not watching either, or you don't know until you know type of things. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of like breadcrumbs out there for you, Logan, if you really wanted to conspiracy theory deep dive it.
And a
So
lot of the time he'll be like, here's this moment, this was in my foreshadowing book, and I'm like, all right, well, I know that this is coming back at some point.
yeah,
Or his paper that he wrote.
yeah. Well,
Um,
speaking of foreshadowing, Logan, there's something. Did he give you a little hint about this episode? Something to keep your ears out for? We
I'm
learned
not
we
sure. Do
learned
you want to say?
we learned we learned some facts about Buffy. What did we learn about Buffy this week?
We learned she likes cheese.
That's the one, Logan. Keep that in mind.
We already
Just
knew that because she turned into a rat in one episode.
well, that's true. Well, I'm just saying, going forward, just it's this isn't a spoiler, but I
She
just pay
likes
attention.
cheese.
Pay attention that she likes cheese and she has a pig named Mr. Gordo.
Okay.
And
Ice
what was
capades,
the
something about the
ice
ice
cap-
capades.
she likes ice capades non-ironically.
I didn't know what that was. I asked Daniel and I already forgot.
Oh, it's ice skating.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like yeah, it's like Brian Boitano and yeah.
All right. Well, so Xander and Giles at one point are like drawing the military guys, and they're like, "So we gotta track these people down." And then Buffy shows up, and she's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be off tonight. I'm gonna be like partying with Willow." And she says something. She says, "I'm gonna wear a slutty outfit."
Yeah.
You
She's like, I gotta
know,
go pick out a slutty outfit. And it's like, I like how they're like, hey, Buffy, you really should like be finding these bad guys. And she's like, well, Willow's like suicidal, so I should probably hang out with her.
yeah, I think that's a good call. Speaking of Willow, in class, Willow tells Riley at one point at the end of class, she's like, "Hey Riley, you left off Oz's name off the roll call. What's that all about? He's coming right back." And why didn't Oz say he was leaving? Like why
Well,
is
yeah,
Willow doing
she's
this?
she's she's in denial, right? Like he said she thinks like, oh, he's gonna come back in like a week and be like, oh,
It made me think she was dumb, kind of.
she's like, oh, Seth Green just had to go film some pickup shots for Austin Powers to The Spy Who Shagged Me, But it turns out, oh no, he's not coming back. He's too popular now. He's gonna go start Robot Chicken.
Yeah. Man, Robot Chicken. Forgot about
Hmm.
that. But then so another moment where Riley calls Buffy peculiar because Walsh says, I like Buffy, whenever Buffy sort of snipes back at Walsh a little bit when she's
Well,
being mean.
Walsh is a maniac here. Walsh is like, I
She's a
don't.
strict teacher.
She's just like, I don't give a shit about your friend. Maybe if your friend cared about things, he shouldn't have been bitten by his cousin and turned into a werewolf and then fell in love with another werewolf and then left the show because he became too famous, huh? And maybe he should have
She,
showed up to my class.
she's just saying that's not how you're going to treat my class. You can't just drop it and then show back up. That's not how we do things around
Yeah,
here.
but meanwhile, Willow's like on the verge of tears, being like, "But I'm my friend is going. Where is he
Yeah,
gonna
she's
go?"
harsh, but
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Walsh, maybe just be like, maybe just shut up in that moment, okay? She's talking to Riley. Like
yeah, that's fair.
Walsh interjected herself there to be uber. What does she say? Like in the previously on, Walsh says like, "Hi, I'm Dr. Walsh. I'm an Uber bitch," or something like
I
that.
don't
She
think that
that's how
happened.
she yeah, that's how she introduces
She says she's
herself.
an Uber bitch.
It's something like that. She's like, "I'm one mean teacher," or something. It's like, what? I was like, why would she say that about herself?
She's straightforward. She knows who she is. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I like that. What do you
Well,
say?
she's
You're a
also
teacher.
apparently. I go, "Hey, I'm Tim. Follow me on Letterbox. I need more followers."
Look at my four favorites: Shrek, Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, Shrek Forever After.
Yes, no, trust me. After the first class in my classes, they all know I like Shrek. I got I got a full on like laugh break in my classes started uh on Tuesday, Logan. And I
Mm-hmm.
full on got a laugh break in one of my classes when I mentioned I was a Shrek expert. And like
Shrek's for it.
yeah, people like laughed out loud. I was like, "Oh, that gave me like a 3-second pop of laughter." That one that's a word. I'll use that one next semester too. So,
You gotta thank Martha.
well,
She's giving you all
I
this great
invented it.
material.
I invented it.
I thought
Shrek
you said
expert.
Martha came up with Shrek Expert.
No, no, no. Martha doesn't come up with anything. She tries to
You're
take
just saying that
credit.
because she'll never hear this, so you're taking the
Oh,
credit
she'll
again.
never hear this one either. So,
All right, so then we
Martha
go.
hates Buffy, by the way.
What do you mean? Why she hate Buffy?
I recommended Buffy to Martha, and she watched. We're getting to about the point where she quit watching Buffy because she hated it so much. And I'm going to tell you right now, she legitimately hates Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the character. Like, she said she quit because she could not stand Buffy.
That's crazy.
Insane,
She never
right?
watched
Dumb.
Angel.
Never got to Angel. She watched all through season 3. She watched the beginning of season 4 and quit. I
I'll
was
be honest.
like,
I can sort of understand if you were going to give up on Buffy, giving up before this episode. But now I feel like I'm back in. Not that I was ever out on Buffy, but I feel like we were sort of like, what's the season about? We were sort of really taking our time, even though we were like rushing through the Oz plot to get the
yeah.
finish line with that. But
Mhm.
now I'm all in on this season.
Well,
Ready to go.
You were all in after the witch. So you're in for the entire ride. What's crazy too to think about was I was looking on Hulu. You guys are almost halfway done with Buffy. Do you
Oh
realize
my
this?
god. No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, like this is the midpoint. There's 7 seasons of Buffy. You're in season 4.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that. That makes me
It's
sad.
just a long way to go because you have a bunch of angels too as well. So
Right. Right.
by
Um
the way, this episode, since it's a weird episode, you should play the angel theme song instead of Buffy at the beginning.
okay. Yeah, I can do that. That'll be fun. The Angel song is so good.
It's great. It's I wish honestly, Logan, I was gonna give you one note is you should put a little bit of the Angel theme song in between when you guys transition from one to the other. You
Mm.
should play a little like maybe 2 of the cello notes or something.
Yeah, that's
Like
honestly a great idea. I don't know
yeah,
why I
yeah,
didn't do
yeah.
that originally. All right, so Xander and Giles, they're in in Xander's mom's basement, right? And they're sort of preparing for the night out. And we talked about sort of how Xander's starting to lose his military skills. Like it seemed like that happened forever ago. That was Halloween, right?
Yeah.
And they brought it up a bunch of times how Xander keeps going back to his military skills, but now it seems like it's wearing off.
It was like two Halloweens ago, in fact, right? Like, because
Yeah,
this season's Halloween, they went into the spooky house, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Two Halloweens ago. And then mom comes in, or mom screams from the top. She's like, "Hey, I got some fruit punch!" And
yeah,
Giles seemed excited for the fruit
yeah.
punch,
Is it raspberry fruit punch? This
which
is a
seemed
fun.
weird to me. Isn't fruit punch a flavor?
That this has always been a weird thing for me too, because I what is raspberry fruit punch? Is this a British thing I don't know about, or is this just a funny joke? Because there are different flavored fruit punches. Yes, there are. You
Okay,
can go and get like a tropical one that has pineapple and coconut in
sure.
it. You can get like basic fruit punch is red. But yeah, I don't yeah, raspberry is not a flavor that would stand out in fruit punch to me. So this is
Well,
a
it's
just
Giles' favorite. Whenever you make
this
a
is a
quiz
funny.
for me and Daniel, put this on there. What kind of
Yeah.
fruit punch did Giles
Yeah,
want?
what kind of fruit punch?
And I'll know it.
Also,
Daniel won't because he's not gonna ever gonna listen to this.
also a big part of my quiz is in episode blank, who's in the opening credits. So Logan, you're gonna get fucked.
Well, they don't change that much. And if I know the
Well, it
season,
changed
I could probably
mid-season
guess.
right here.
Well, I
The
know it though. Daniel told me.
Yeah, well,
What do you mean?
so,
Who like just the name changed? No, like they didn't change anything with the actual
yes.
visuals, did they?
Oh my God, you're dumb. There's so much more Spike in the opening credits
Oh
now,
my God, I gotta
and
go
and
watch it.
and there's like a famous Spike clip that's like now like the opening credits are seared into my mind. Like every moment is like, oh, this moment and this moment's so good. Oh, and she's standing in that weird dimension, and they pull up, and she's holding like that sickle thing, and she
Yeah,
looks
that's
badass.
awesome. That
Yeah,
is
no,
awesome.
that's why need to watch the credits because it's so awesome. And what's great
Have we
about the
seen that yet?
angel
What episode is that
yeah.
from?
Yeah, that's when she's in LA. Is it Beth
Anne?
or Anne? Yeah.
Anne?
Um
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's the last one I was on for.
We talked about that episode in the yesterday. I forgot why. Was there like a reference in this episode to Anne, maybe?
mm,
I forget. Oh,
I
by the way,
don't
we didn't
know.
we didn't talk about the guy from the beginning. Spike is like he meets a buddy at the beginning who's
Oh
like
yeah.
who is in the cage next to him. And that's the guy who was taken in the
Yes.
episode earlier when the
Yeah, yeah.
military guys surrounded him. And I
That's
didn't recognize him at
that
first.
guy's just like, I'm just a rat. I'm a rat who is in a cage and being experimented on.
Despite all
Yeah,
my
yeah.
rage,
That's
I
the
am
guy who's
still
like, hey, don't eat the blood. It's poison.
right. But that made me think because at the end they said Spike had the transplant in him. So how did they get the transplant in him if he's
Well,
not
they
drinking anything?
captured him and knocked him out in the last episode, right?
What
Like
did that mean? Transplant. Where did that go? They shoved it in his mouth or something?
transplant.
Yeah, what does that mean? Transplant. They just like put
Like
something on him.
they put something in, like a transplant would be like, a pacemaker or something in your body. Like you put,
But where'd they
like,
put it?
hmm. Logically think about it, Logan. What's going on with Spike in this episode?
What do you mean?
I
He
can't.
can't. He can't bite people. They put it in his mouth.
Yeah, okay. Let's say that.
I'm so confused. But
It's just, well,
what
you'll
else could
find
it
out.
be?
You'll find out. You'll find out.
They
So
put
I
it in
can't.
his penis because he has like erectile
Yep.
dysfunction.
Yeah, he's got a dick.
I don't. I'm so confused by what you're
He's got
saying.
the
That's really
opposite of a penis uh pump. It's the opposite.
they put it.
I think to be honest, I think Spike can still get hard. I just don't think he can like bite people, right? Even though it is a whole erectile dysfunction scene that we get.
But he's a
I
vampire, so I don't think he can get hard.
what do you mean? Angel fucked Buffy.
Oh yeah,
Look,
I forget that vampires, even though they don't have blood, they can still get boners. Always forget about that. Uh,
yeah.
right, but
Come
anyway,
on.
so we go to lunch, right? And or they're like hanging out in the hall, like throwing a frisbee, I think. And then Parker comes down, and in my head, I was like, Daniel's so dumb. That was a great line. And then he's all talking about like, yeah, I hooked up with Buffy once, and she was so whiny. But she had great stamina. That was a great part about her. And he tells a joke about how freshman girls are like toilet seats because whenever you get off them, they don't follow you, or they're not like toilet seats because toilet seats don't follow you around when you get off of them.
Hmm.
Something like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And then Riley punches him right in the face, and
Yeah.
that's the last we ever see what's his
Yeah.
name? Parker,
Yeah,
apparently.
Riley punched him. Well, according to Dan, he's been wrong once already. So,
Many
meanwhile,
times.
meanwhile, Parker's in the opening credits for next.
No, no, he's not. That'd be hilarious. He's a regular Parker.
Hey, I gotta say, I specifically watched the opening credits to see if how much of Oz was still in the opening credits, if they
Yeah.
removed stuff. And let me tell you, they removed some stuff, but Oz is still present. And then
Is
it
the
made me think,
vampire shot still there?
no, that's gone.
Or the werewolf one?
No, that's gone. But the shot of him and Willow post sex is still in there. The thing that did make me think was like, oh yeah, Faith is still in the opening credits. So that was because
Oh,
we had the bad girls dance.
right. Yeah. Hmm. All right. I mean, I, I, I feel like we talk about like maybe she won't come back, but I feel like we're just
Mm,
kind of saying that. I feel like there's no way she just never came back. So, um,
mm, I don't know.
oh come on. All right, but we get a line from Goodwill Hunting, kind of. Remember the time we brought up how when Xander was in the bar, that scene was kind of like Goodwill Hunting, the smart guy
Mm-hmm.
in the bar. Here's another one that's kind of like Goodwill Hunting, where Riley says, "I guess I'm gonna go see a girl," which is similar to that line from Goodwill Hunting, "I gotta go see about a girl."
Oh
So
yeah, very
lots of Goodwill
similar.
Hunting vibes this
Yeah,
season.
very similar.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't think so?
I mean, it's not the same line, but
But it's
okay.
pretty similar. I'm gonna go see a
Yeah,
girl. I gotta go
pretty
see about a
similar.
girl. All
Yeah.
right, all right. Let us know, guys. Who's right, me or Tim? I
Yeah.
think I'm right.
Yeah.
Daniel agreed with me too. We talked about the ending.
Oh,
We were like,
yeah.
what if Riley goes and he drives off and you've got the song playing? We
Yeah,
made a big joke about it.
Daniel agreed with you, and then he specifically said, "Oh yeah, don't delete this episode either, Logan." And you're like, "Ha ha, I'm gonna do it.
All
I want to
right.
impress this girl's boyfriend."
Okay. All right. So then Spike escapes. Oh, the guys come in and they're like gonna take Spike. But you know from the scene that Spike's just gonna escape because then why else are they showing them like transport Spike, you know? So you know Spike's just gonna get up and escape. And that's what happens. Spike beats him up and leaves.
You know
And
who you've
it's awesome.
forgotten to talk about in this
Who?
episode? Harmony. We've seen Harmony a couple
No, not
times.
yet. Spike just now escaped. He's not about Head Harmony
Don't
yet.
we see her at the very beginning though? Like,
What?
oh, okay, never mind. I got it backwards.
What do you think happened at the beginning?
I doesn't Xander and Harmony fight each other?
That hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay. All
That's
right.
about to happen coming up.
That's a great fight scene. That's so
Great fight
awesome.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every scene in this we talked about it. Every scene in this episode has something great, basically, in my opinion. Like there's something to take away from every scene, kind of. And this one is no exception. Riley goes over to Willow's.
Oh yeah.
Does he go there? I asked Daniel, but I forgot really what he said. Or I was a little confused. Does he go there to try to ask Buffy out straight up, or does he go there to ask Willow for advice?
I think he goes there to ask Willow for advice. Although if Buffy's there, he probably would have talked to her. I loved when
Right.
he's like, can I interrupt this like super depressing
She was so
music?
depressed too.
Yeah.
She was sitting there
I
doing nothing but listening to sad music.
the only thing that could have made Willow more depressed if she was wearing her overalls, which I did notice she was not wearing her overalls.
um,
Probably because they wanted her to look a little bit sexy for Spike later on. But
yeah,
yeah.
but I think she has good like not. I don't want to say like sexual chemistry with Riley, but I think she has great chemistry with Riley. And Daniel and I talked about how remember the first episode of the season where he meets Riley or where he meets Willow and Buffy, and he's more into more into Willow. Like he's sort
Yeah.
of like Buffy's sort of like acting like a doof, and he's sort of like ignoring Buffy, but he's like, hey Willow, what's up?
Well,
So
Buffy
that's
is
interesting.
here's the greatest thing. This is something I absolutely love about this show is how stupid Buffy is. Like she's in college, right? And they go out of their way multiple times to just like Riley's like staring at her and she's like spilling soft serve and or have we already skipped the scene where she like uses the pen and she just gets and Willow's like, yeah, ballpoint pens are hard.
Yeah,
Uh
that was in the class earlier
yeah, yeah.
before Willow
That part's
complained.
like, yeah. And it was like a hard cut where it's like Riley's like, yeah, I just think she's peculiar, and then she's like, oh no, I got ink all over my notes. I'm stupid.
I think
It's
maybe Martha gave up because Buffy reminds her of Harry Potter a little bit. How he's
hmm.
sort of a big dumb, especially in the movies, like how she
Oh
hates
yeah,
movie
yeah.
Harry
Harry,
Potter.
yeah, Harry is super dumb. And hey, Walsh is kind of like Snape. She's like turned to page
Uh-huh. And you think she's
237.
bad, but she's
Yeah,
good. Or
yeah,
is
yeah.
she? I guess we still don't
Or
really
is
know.
she? Is she
Yeah.
gonna kill Dumbledore? Is that what's gonna happen?
What if she kills Giles? I'm gonna freak out.
Oh,
Giles is basically Dumbledore. Oh my
you
god.
think Giles is Dumbledore?
You don't
Oh my
think
god.
he's gay? Joss Whedon said later that Giles was gay, remember?
What?
In the last season, like how JK
Oh
did.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Joss also I think said he believes women are women and trans people are not women. And then he also said that he loves fucking women and he'll fuck any woman. And if you're pregnant, he'll kick you off your show.
Well, was J.K. Rowling was when she said that Dumbledore was gay? Was that the weirdest thing an artist has ever done? Like retroactively, just say somebody was gay just to make people like you more.
Is that the weird? Well, I think the stuff she
I mean,
said
like the
after
most,
has been weirder.
but that's like true to herself. Like the other time, she was just like just doing it to get fans. That's weird to me.
She was just virtue signaling
Yeah,
like you were with uh Forrest earlier on,
right.
right? Like
Right. I think that's
uh
super weird. Like no, I can't think of other examples where people have done that
just
overtly.
retroactively been like, oh, by the way, he's been gay the whole time. You just
Yeah, just to get
didn't
people
see the
talking and
clues.
yeah,
I
that's
I
super duper weird.
I saw a post on Twitter, or as Dan's obsessed with calling it X or whatever, but meanwhile he's a freaking
Do you
Reddit
have
fuck
X on your
bro.
phone or you have Twitter on your phone? Because I still have
Yeah,
Twitter.
but who cares, Logan? Shut up.
I
This is the
care.
yeah, this is the dumb thing for you to like as well. I have X. I switched over because I wanted to see the difference, and now I
Try
got
to
to tell you,
update live on the podcast.
it doesn't matter. It's exactly the same except one's black and one's blue. And
All right, I'm
you
updating
feel
live on the
you
podcast.
feel like the type of person who would be upset that your dumb icon changed.
Well, I'm
So
updating live on the podcast right
wow,
now.
wow,
I'm
amazing.
blazing my glory, as it says.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's my biggest problem with X on the phone is there's a big X, and I tend to try to hit the X to close the app, and it doesn't close the app because it's the logo, not the close the app feature. So,
I don't think I
uh,
understand what you just said.
but well, you'll see when you get it. Also, the
Oh,
logo
I've
kind of
got it
looks like
now.
it kind of looks like there's jizz on it.
What?
Uh, like there's white paint splatter all over the logo.
The
Um,
X? Oh. The okay, I
yeah.
understand. The
What
only
was
X Daniel knows is X videos. Am I right?
X hamster?
X hamster. There's another one. Yeah. All right. Moving on. We've got
Oh,
so
there was some point I brought up Twitter
oh
to say something
right.
that back to Harry Potter. The funniest thing was on Twitter I saw people were talking about how in the Fantastic Beasts movie, they're like, you guys ever think about how in the Fantastic Beasts the secrets of Dumbledore or Dumbledore secrets, what's that one called?
Secrets of Dumbledore.
That his secret is he has a nephew.
Really?
That's his secret. It was like going into that movie. I was like, oh, they're gonna like heavily imply him and Mads Mikkelsen or Johnny Depp fucking were fucking the whole time, right? Because he's gay. No, they don't go into that at all. They just go into,
I
oh,
never thought about that.
you have a secret nephew you didn't know about.
Yeah, I never. I always thought that the secret was the gay stuff too, even
Yeah,
after
well,
the
they
movie.
didn't do it. Yeah, no. Instead, there's a deer that you have to bow to or something that
Oh
became
yeah, to become prime
president.
minister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. All right. Anyway, back to Riley and Willow. He goes to Willow and he's asking Willow, "Hey, what is Buffy into? I really like Buffy, and what's she into?" And me and Daniel talked about how we liked Riley. That Riley, he's talking about Buffy, like how she's different than other girls. He really likes her. He's not just like Parker. It didn't seem like. So we're
Yeah.
on Team Riley as of now,
Yeah,
or I am. I guess he knows.
Riley's like, oh geez, I don't want to fuck. I want to hold a hand and I want to be a boyfriend.
And he talked about courting her. Was the
courting
line that
her.
he
Oh
said.
my god, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I just don't want to say, how about them Broncos to Buffy? It doesn't seem like something she'd be into.
I
Um,
agree.
because she's a girl, right? Like
This guy
that's why
might be trying too hard. He might be like a little too white
he
knighty,
I think
right?
he's like too focused on gender roles because early later on we see like he's like, hey, you're a girl, you can't take care of yourself, and she's like, I'm a girl, I can take care of myself, and he's like,
Right.
no, I'm gonna stay here and take care of you because I'm a man, and
But he
also
was like really trying to convince her to leave because she was in danger there. I don't think he'd be
yeah,
that
that's
concerned in other
no,
circumstances.
yeah, it's a fun moment too because we both know that each of them are
Such a great
capable.
moment. Such
Yeah,
a
yeah, but neither of them know that like, hey, because she's also like, fuck off, I would need to kill a vampire or something. I'm trying to
yeah,
catch these creepy military guys.
yeah, so good. But anyway, so Willow basically said, "Oh, there's a moment where Buffy's like all of her crossbows and slaying equipment is on the floor, and they sort of move it off. We liked that moment." But he learns that Buffy likes cheese,
Mm-hmm,
and she has Mr. Gordo,
mm-hmm.
stuffed piggy. But and then we go. Spike goes to Harmony. You glad to see Harmony back?
Hey, did you notice that Buffy has two misters in her life? I guess
Miss
three if
Mr.
you think
Trick,
about it. Mr. Trick, Mr. Gordo. Come on, trivia head. Who's the other Mister in Buffy's life? Man,
Mr.
you're dumb.
Giles.
Man, that's Cordelia. Um, uh, nope, you're dumb. Dan's gonna win this trivia
No, he
contest because
won't.
he's shouting at his podcast right now.
He's not
I'm
listening.
not listening. That's what he's shouting. Uh, well, but no, but the listeners at home are shouting, "Mr. Pointy, you dolt!"
Oh my god. Yeah, huge major fuck up by me. That's pretty bad. What was the guy's name who I already forgot who left to go back to England? He said
Wesley,
Wesley. Oh, he just went by Wesley.
Wesley
Okay.
Wyndham Price.
Yeah, right. I was trying to think about what they called him, but he just went by Wesley. All
Yeah.
right. So anyway, Harmony. You glad to see Harmony?
Yeah, Harmony is fun. She's a fun
Joss was
character.
glad to see Harmony. Am I right?
Is she one? You have to
Yeah.
assume she's one
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the many victims. I have always assumed Anya is a victim as well.
Oh,
So
Daniel, let me, I mean, he's not listening, but please let me know. That's another character that is brought back a lot. He's
yeah,
never mentioned that. Maybe
yeah.
she's just a really good actor.
I watched so I didn't watch Buffy live, but I came to Buffy because
Daniel came to Buffy also.
yeah, I know. The way I found Buffy was I really got into DVD box sets when they
Hmm.
first came out. And so I watched The Sopranos and 24, but Buffy was where I found all of Buffy, and I believe all 7 seasons were out at that point. So not only did I watch Buffy, but I watched a lot of them with directors' commentaries as well. And I have always had the theory, because one of my favorite episodes, I watch a single episode of Buffy at least twice a year, and I can't tell you why or when or what it is, but I've listened to the commentary, and there Joss is on it, and he says some very specific things, which has always made me assume that Anya
Oh
was a
no.
victim as well. So,
I don't think Daniel's ever brought that up before. And I
mhm.
never even thought about it. I always thought she was just so good that why wouldn't she be brought back? But yeah, I guess you have to kind of think it's a
I would
possibility.
think other than Willow and Buffy, I think everyone
Not
might be a
mom,
victim.
right? Christine
I
Sutherland.
don't know.
We also we talked about Christine Sutherland in this episode how um Daniel said that she went to Joss at one point and said that she had a friend in Italy or something who she was going to house sit for. So that's
What?
what Christine Sutherland's doing this season. She's house sitting for a friend in Italy. Do you know
Oh,
that?
no, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what Daniel told me.
Hey,
So
good for
that's why
her.
she's not on. That's why she hasn't been here since like episode 1. She's house sitting.
Hmm.
So pretty cool for her, I
Do you
guess.
think her friend is her brother, Kiefer?
Yeah, I do. I do think so. Yeah. She's a Nepo baby, right? Donald Sutherland's her dad.
Yeah, and Buffy's watcher.
Holy shit. Wow. That's crazy. That's amazing. That's probably wow. I don't think Daniel's ever thought about that before. I'm glad that you're here, the Buffy
Yeah, exactly.
expert, Tim.
Yeah, super expert.
Buffy spurt. All right, so we go. Oh, so Harmony's there, and Spike basically goes to Harmony. He's like, "Hey, I need your help. We're gonna go kill the Slayer now." And Harmony's like, "No, you tried to kill me last time. That wasn't very
Hmm.
cool. I don't want to do that with you anymore." And so Spike leaves Harmony, and we go to Xander and Giles, who are spying. They're like hiding in the bushes, waiting for the military guys trying to catch them. And Xander sees Harmony, and she's like burning Spike's clothes. I guess she's over Spike basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he sees Harmony and they get into a big fight and it's all slow-mo and they're like slapping each other and it's very funny.
It's
Great scene.
yeah, and then they just like okay, truce because that neither of them want to like could beat each other, right? Like
Yeah, they called a
it's
truce.
like a nerd.
I feel like Buffy has called a truce before. Has that ever happened?
It's it's an you're asking the wrong dude.
Okay. But you're the
Probably
expert.
I would guess. I've never claimed to be an expert. I don't want to. I don't want to do trivia. You're making me host the trivia.
You don't have to
Um,
if you don't want.
I'm
Actually,
just
that'd be
well,
fun.
yeah. I'm fine to host it. I'm just gonna make like
So you can look
William.
online for questions
No,
probably.
William's gonna write me all the questions. William, that's your job. Start writing trivia questions, please.
Okay. Remember when I put together Big Brother trivia for you and Daniel? That was fun.
No, no, but I'm
You
sure it was
don't
great.
remember that?
No.
It was like for the first 7 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Oh
How'd we
man.
do? How'd we do? Who won?
I think you tied.
Oh, good. Sounds about right.
I don't remember who won. Man, that
Mm.
was a great
Hey,
episode. Go
Logan,
listen to it.
speaking of Big Brother trivia, did you watch last night's Big Brother?
Yes.
Did you notice apparently they used a prop from season 2 in the veto competition last night?
What was that?
The sarcophagus that was in the food comp in season 2, Tutankhamun's tomb, was in the background of the veto comp last night.
No, I didn't pick up on that. That's pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
saw it online. I saw Hardy looking in that and then them showing like, yes, it's the exact same
You know what they
sarcophagus.
should put in the Big Brother house? The Jack Shack.
That would be good. Yeah,
They
Mike
should put that
Boogie's
in the
Jack Shack.
background of one of the competitions. The Jack Shack. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
Blue and Jared could take advantage of
That
that.
was so funny that looking for the condoms in the last episode.
Yeah, no, it was
That
really
was so good.
good. I was wondering if
It
they're
was
gonna
so perfect. Like they were in the bathroom. They were like, let's go give America and Corey the condoms." Then they come back and the condoms are missing, and Blue and Jared are both in the bathroom just looking at each
yeah,
other. That was so
yeah.
perfect.
No,
Yeah,
what's
how
even better?
crazy is he, by the way? He's having sex on camera in the Big Brother house with his mom in the house.
Yeah, he's one of these contestants who doesn't really understand what the live feeds can see too. They've had discussions about like what are they showing? Like so
How does he not
he was
know? How
all
has his mom not told him everything about this show?
yeah, well she apparently Suri is not the biggest Big Brother fan, but she's
But I feel
watched
like she's smart enough to have done some research on the
research.
show before she goes
Yeah,
on
well,
it.
she's smart and he's dumb. Jared sucks. Like, Jared is a horrible albatross around Suri's neck, and she's still killing it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not an advantage for her; it's a disadvantage. Like,
Yeah,
we're like, oh,
seriously.
they gave Suri his her son so that she would like not get voted off the third week. No, they gave her
She's gonna
like,
vote her son off the third week, basically.
yeah, I mean, she's thinking about voting his hookup
I think that's the
off.
plan. I think that she's going home this week, basically, was
Yeah, I
last that
don't
I
know. I
saw.
don't know. It flip flops a bunch. So
Yeah, I really don't know.
especially now that they know there's a power in the house, I think they're just gonna like get rid of Jag.
Do we know who has the power or no?
There's theories online. I
The
sort of
person has the power, though.
I know who the four people who are that competed, and I think I know who has the power at this
I
point,
assume
just
it's
based on the live feeds.
Suri,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
maybe Felicia,
No.
America.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
You're forgetting that someone's wearing a chicken costume and is
People
an
like Jag.
underdog.
I feel like he's not that much on the show.
He's wearing a costume. You got to remember people like costumes, especially
That's
casuals.
not at all who I would have picked. All right, so Jag, Suri, Corey, who
Jag's
else?
on the block too, so people voted for him. Um, and you want to guess one more?
No, can't think of it.
Yeah. Well, Matt
Fred?
also got it.
Oh,
Matt.
Matt. I like Matt. Why didn't I think of
Yeah,
Matt?
Matt's good.
He hasn't been on the show, I guess. But
He's kind of
ever
yeah.
since Riley left, he hasn't been
You
there.
don't really hear from Matt too
Oh,
often.
great one. Great one. All right, so after the slow-mo fight, we go to
Hey,
that
Logan,
party.
Logan, I read
Yeah.
on the live feeds, Izzy was talking to Matt and she's like, huh, it's kind of a quiet day here in the house today. And Matt's response was like, yeah, that's like every day for me.
Man,
And
Izzy's
Izzy's like,
hilarious.
oh shit. Yeah.
Izzy is probably the most unintentionally funny that's been in the person that's been in the house since like Big Brother 6 April, maybe.
Yeah, and apparently we have seen barely anything from her, Izzy, who
But I see
is
clips online. That's mostly why I love her. Not
Izzy's a
from the
ma-
show,
yeah,
from online
Izzy's a
clips.
maniac. Apparently, like they're like talking Izzy off of ledges all the time. So should be
Did you
good.
like Daniel in a few episodes ago? I was like, I don't know really how to describe Izzy. And he
Yes,
was like, you could
this
use
was
one
hilarious.
word, but it would
Yes,
offend everybody.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't know what I was gonna text you guys, but like, what was the one word? Because I could think of multiple words, and
Yeah, me
I
too.
was
I assumed
yeah,
Daniel was gonna say fat though. That's assumed that's just
fat.
you don't think that's what he would have said?
Oh, I naturally assumed he was gonna say something way more offensive. So
Hmm. About what?
about like I don't.
Gender?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
That
I that was sort of
I
where
assumed
my
it was gonna be more homophobic or something. Like fat wouldn't like. I mean, is he fatter than Sari or Felicia?
yeah, I don't
Like,
know either. I just feel like that's just what Daniel would have said.
mm,
But I
I
feel
think
like
you're being
gender,
kind.
yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like gender would be what he would go to. Something
yeah,
regarding that.
yeah.
Uh, all right, so anyway, we go to the party and it's like at Riley's frat house part I guess, right?
Slash slash elevator to the initiatives
That was awesome.
undercover thing. How shocked were you when they got their eyeballs scanned
Oh
and they
yeah,
got in that
it seemed like
elevator?
they were just like walking, like they were just like
Mhm.
walking around. I was like, all right, they figured out something. They're walking. They're gonna go tell somebody, and then they just like stand in front of a mirror and start scanning themselves. I was like, oh shit, something crazy is happening right now. It was a great moment, I thought.
Yeah, and that reveals fun where it's like a pull out. There's just that big pit of people being
Oh, we talked
uh,
about it.
demons being.
That's this is like the most they've ever spent on the show. Probably
Yeah,
it
right.
looked awesome. I thought it was
What
such a great set, and
I
like the
think
crane shot was so cool.
I think you're underestimating how expensive bad CG in the
That's
1990s
true.
cost. And I think that how many extras were at the Ascension. So,
That's true. But from just like a from like a filmmaking setup, pull it off sort of perspective, we thought that this was awesome. Um, I assume everybody does, but anyway,
did
so
Logan, did I ever tell you that I went to San Diego State, right? And San Diego State's exterior for the film department is Sunnydale. Like they
no.
filmed all the exteriors for Sunnydale at, or most of the exteriors for Sunnydale High um at San Diego State. So where I went to film school, basically was the exterior for that and for Bring It On, the movie Bring It On. So,
Wow. What about the
um,
sequels? Bringing on sequels.
yeah, I don't think any of the sequels they showcase the school's exteriors very much, but
Mm, that's very cool.
every year they would do a viewing of Bring It On to like showcase like, hey, this is was filmed on campus.
So you've been to the was so that library from the first episode when they show like how giant the library is, you've been in there? Or is that or that's
No,
the interior, I
exteriors.
guess. I guess.
Yeah, no, I was like the
Damn,
quad where
stupid.
they like hang out in the hallways with the arches that they walk through. That's what I was at.
That's very cool though. I didn't know that. Um,
Yeah.
by the way, Willow is like gets really sad at the party because they start playing a Dingoes Ate My Baby song. That was
That was
upsetting.
I love that because I was like, I guess I have to assume this is Dingoes Ate My Baby because there's no way. I've watched Buffy maybe 4 or 5 times all the way through, and I wouldn't be able to tell you a single lyric from a Dingoes Ate My Baby song ever.
Daniel said
Um,
this song in particular that's playing is apparently there's an earlier episode where Willow says that Oz wrote a song for her, and
oh,
apparently
is
this
that
is
it?
that song.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Well,
that's what he said.
I was trying to listen to the lyrics and to play it at a party too, it'd be like, oh yeah, these are the guys that played last year. It was like, what? You guys,
Yeah, that was weird.
and then they changed the music, right? Like, and it's like, wouldn't the tape be the whole set, not just one song? But whatever.
Huh. Yeah, that's a great point too. Yeah, that whole thing was weird. It was like we recorded everyone from last year and now this we're just redoing it, or it seemed
Yeah,
just
and
like a way to get the dingoes there. It was weird.
yeah, and also Oz doesn't sing, so like she's just like,
Right.
oh, those bass
Oh,
lines are
that
really
guitar
making me
riff. I know
sad.
that's
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Oh man, he used to
Is
do
he
that
a
for me.
bassist or he's the lead
I don't
guitar?
know. I don't know.
Because this Devin doesn't play, right? He just sings.
I think he did both.
No, well then, I'm guessing Oz is bass. You should know this for the trivia contest. William's writing it up right now.
He doesn't know. I don't think we know the band positions exactly. I think
Mm,
they have
okay.
that Def Leppard drummer though, the guy who does it with his feet.
With no, he's got one arm. The drummer from Def Leppard's
But
only
doesn't he
got one
do it with
arm.
his foot?
No.
He doesn't drum with his foot. Why did I think he drum with his feet?
Well, I mean, there is a pedal that the drummers use to do
I
the bass
know, but I
drum.
thought he would hold the little stick in his foot and
I think he's
go.
got like a nub that he has an attachment for.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Look it up.
I don't want to look it
You're
up.
not gonna get spoiled on Buffy or Angel.
What do I look up? Def Leppard drummer. How does he do it?
What? Yeah, Def Leppard drummer hand. Put that in.
All right. But anyway, so they scan in, they go down, and Professor Walsh is there, and she's
Man,
like,
Logan, Dan's really rubbing off on you if you're sitting here thinking about Def Leppard's drummer's feet. Like, I think you gotta be worried that like
"There's
this.
no little nub for him to hold anything. It's like completely, his arm's completely gone at the
So,
shoulder.
so you're telling me he uses one arm and one foot to drum?
No, it looks like he's just using one arm in all these photos.
Yeah, there you go.
Holy shit! There's one guy has a little contraption, but it's not him. This is a random guy.
Mhm. Now look up the drummer from what's Pam Anderson's
Motley Crue.
porno? Yeah, look up the drummer from Motley Crue when he's doing they spin the drums in a circle and he goes upside down.
What? What are you talking about? Drummer Motley Crue spin upside down.
Yes, do that.
All right.
He's got like a little roller coaster
What? This is
contraption.
awesome. He does
Yeah,
this during the
right?
concerts.
Yeah.
He just spins around like Amy in her little wheel.
Yeah, like Amy.
Where is Amy? Bring Amy back.
Amy's in Willow's Amy met Riley with Willow in the apartment,
Wait,
I think.
she took Amy to college?
I mean, I thought so. Like what she left what is Willow's parents feeding Amy?
I thought at one point I sort of like asked Daniel if he brought her to college and he said he didn't think so or something.
Oh,
I
well then maybe I'm wrong.
I mean maybe you're right and I'm wrong, but I haven't really been thinking about her because I thought that she wouldn't really come back for a little while. So I thought she was back at home. But maybe I'm wrong. But we haven't seen her, which really bothers me. Have they forgotten? Surely
They
not.
I'm going to tell you right now they have not forgotten. And I'm going to
Okay.
tell you right now I know for a fact that Amy is in college.
Okay.
Is yeah.
All right, sweet. Um oh maybe oh never mind, never mind. So we learned basically, or we didn't learn, but Professor Walsh is like, hey guys, you got to go get Hostile 17. He escaped. That's not good. Go catch him. So Hostile 17, aka Spike, shows up at Willow's house and he tries to eat Willow. And I want to say I fell for it. I thought Willow was about to be turned into a vampire right here. I
You
thought this
thought,
was going to be a turning point in the whole show.
yeah.
I was like, we've set up Riley is doing this. Like, this is a huge turning point in the show. I thought like everything was off at this point.
Logan, was this the part where you're like, oh my God, Willow is going to be a vampire? And we know that vampire Willow is a little bit gay, right? So
Yeah,
maybe this is the new mutant thing that you
it
know
is
about.
what I thought. I thought this was
Yeah.
the turning point, basically. But No, he can't do it because he has the implant, which makes him it's basically an erectile dysfunction thing. Like even Willow is like, you couldn't bite me. Why couldn't you bite me? I don't do it for you
Yeah,
anymore.
it's I like when she's like, "Oh, maybe we could wait a half an hour and try
That was
again."
so funny. That
It's
was
so
so funny.
it's
Every
so funny
line
because
was
it's
so good.
so long. It's so long. And then I love the part where she's like, "Oh, well," and then she's like, "Wait a second," and she grabs the lamp and hits him over the head. So
So
good.
good.
Yeah, it's like it goes forever and you like feel bad for her and Spike is like also trying to comfort Willow
I
because
loved the part where he's like, no, I've even thought about it a lot of times. There was like the time where you had on this outfit and I really wanted to, but I know I just couldn't do it
yeah,
that day. It was so good.
he's like, yeah, it was you had a red fuzzy jumper on
Daniel
and
said that was from the episode Doppelgangland, I think.
yeah, yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool to think about.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think this scene might be one of my favorite scenes that we've ever had in Buffy.
good.
Like
Well,
everything, it was just so funny.
Spike is great. Spike is fun. You can see Spike with some of the other Buffy characters will be even more fun, right? So,
And Allison Hannigan's great too.
yeah,
She's so good
no,
in this
she's
scene.
amazing. She's like sad, but then like she's so sad that she like feels bad. I like how he tries a couple more times and he just like he's like, ow, ow, ow. And he like keeps going for it, but he can't bite her. And yeah,
Yeah.
that commercial break is so good because you like see him like bite into her neck, and you're like, she's
Yeah.
dead. And
I
then
that
cut to him sitting on the edge of the bed, and she's like, it happens to all guys, right? Like, yeah, I like when he's like, I'm only 127.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be happening to me.
So good. One of the best scenes we've ever had. And then this was the scene we sort of talked about. Buffy's sitting on a bench and she's waiting for Spike. Xander went and told her after he saw Harmony, he was like, "Hey, Spike's coming after you." So Buffy goes to sit on a bench. She's waiting for Spike to come. And then the military guy, they're not what are they? They're not military. They're commandos, I think is what
Their
everybody's saying.
initiative.
Oh, the initiative. Okay. And they're out. Oh, we like made jokes about how now that we know who they are, they're just out with their helmets off,
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
which would have never happened beforehand, but they're just like out in bushes with their hats off and stuff. It's very funny. But so they see Buffy and Riley goes up and he's like, "Hey Buffy, you should got to be somewhere safe." But she's out there trying to kill Spike. She doesn't want to be anywhere safe. It's a very fun scene, like trying to the back and forth between them is very good. And basically, did I brought something up that Daniel didn't even remember from this episode? What was up with Xander giving Buffy a flare gun and then like I didn't like that. That didn't make any sense. He's never given her a flare gun before. Why would Buffy need a flare gun?
Oh,
But,
because it makes that really cool shot when she shoots the flare off and it bounces around a bunch in the dark hallway.
but that was so stupid. It
And
seemed like
it
one of the most
doesn't
obvious like screenwriting things in Buffy. I didn't like it.
doesn't it hurt all their eyes because they all have night vision goggles on too, and that's then they can't really see her. Like they're trying to explain why
That's what it was.
why they wouldn't recognize Buffy and
Did the flare cause like all the That's what it was. So the flare caused the
well, they're
smoke
in the
and like for
dark.
them to not see each other.
Yeah, so the flare makes it so they have to take off their night vision goggles, right? And then they can't see Buffy's face except for Riley, who, right? Like Riley sees Buffy's face.
Daniel and we were really confused by this because
I
does
think he does.
Buffy see does Buffy see Riley though?
No, I don't think Buffy sees Riley. I think
Okay,
Riley sees Buffy, and that's why he's weird at the end where he like doesn't ask her out immediately.
okay, because I thought that because there's that weird shot where she is like fuzzy, right? He can't see her,
Hmm.
and I think he leaves in that moment right then because he realizes that she probably can't see him either,
Yeah.
right? So he's like, all right, I may as well get out of here before she busts me. But uh okay, so the flare caused a lot. I sort of thought there was just like a bunch of smoke from like gunfire and
Well,
like
the power goes out. It's
sprinklers and
dark. It's
yeah, a
dark,
bunch of
but
stuff.
I'm pretty sure the flare gun is to make it so they can't have their night vision goggles.
Huh. Okay, I mean, I guess that works a little better than the flare gun doing absolutely nothing, but still, the flare gun was not something that worked extra well for me this episode. But I like the fight at the end, the dorm room fight.
Yeah.
That was very fun.
She
And
saves Spike's ass. Like
yeah,
Spike
Spike
gets
Spike
away
gets away.
because of Buffy. It's so funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so Walsh is all like, ah, they got away, gotta get him back. And the next day, Buffy and Riley talk. And Riley said something that I like. He was like, yeah, I talked to Willow and she was like helping me with a project, but the project is Buffy, it seems like. It seems like
Hmm.
that's the project these were. And I, it's so funny, like the people that are listening that have seen Buffy, if I'm like talking about how much I like Riley, but then all of this is a front, like you're supposed to buy into all this, and Riley's actually bad, which I might just
Yeah.
be falling right into. But I do like Riley. I think he's cool. And then
Yeah.
she calls him peculiar, which was a line he kept saying.
Yep.
So
Yep. And then he also tells her, he's like, I like cheese. Did Willow tell you
yeah.
I like cheese? And Buffy's like, you're peculiar. Um, so
Yeah, and so we'll go. I give this 4 stars. I really love this episode. I think every scene is great. It advances the plot.
mhm.
You get Spike back into the picture.
Did Dan give
Loved
it a
it.
five?
No, he didn't give it a 5. He gave it a 4.
Oh, I give it a five.
Wow, you give it a 5. I'll say I liked this more than Daniel did. I ranked it number 10.
Wow.
Number 10, and Daniel ranked it number 21.
This is great. And this is just like the actual start of spikes in every episode moving forward, basically. So um for however long he's in it for.
Yeah, I can't wait. My MVP, I went with Riley. This was my first Riley MVP. I thought he was great here.
Really? Oh yeah, okay. I understand. Um yeah, Riley is good. I like Riley. He's an interesting character, and he's like, if we're setting up this like potential love interest, and he's a good, like, if you're gonna replace Angel, right? Like Angel was the last real love interest. I guess Parker was her other love
But he
interest.
punched Parker, which I also liked. He
Yeah.
started taking his
Yeah.
place.
So we're
We
seeing
Daniel and I have a theory, by the way. We talked about how if Parker never came back from that one episode, then he was dead. But now, if he never comes back from this episode, Riley murdered him. Riley's
do you
punch
think
killed him.
Riley punched him so hard that he got a concussion and died?
Yeah, he went to the same hospital with Faith, and he was in a coma, but he didn't make
watch
it out.
watch the next episode, the first scene. It's Parker being like, "Ow, my jaw hurts. Good thing I didn't die, and I'm in yet another episode to embarrass Daniel."
Yeah, I would love that because it would just embarrass Daniel, which would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are your MVP? Who do you got?
Oh, Spike is my MVP. Come on,
That's what Daniel picked.
come on. Him sitting on the bed. I mean, Willow would be my second contender.
Wow.
But I Willow's much better in a lot of other stuff. So I love Spike's my favorite character in all of
Yeah.
Buffy. So or the Buffy verse or whatever you want to call it. So
All right, my LVP, I went with Graham. There was Graham and Forrest, and Graham I thought did less for me, so I went with Graham.
oh, oh, virtual signaling there,
Daniel
huh?
went with Forrest.
That's who I'm gonna go with too. He's way more misogynistic than
But I
Graham.
understood him more at
Graham
least.
Graham see Graham seems more
Graham was just like
uh
Riley Light.
yeah, he's just like, yeah, go for it, Riley. You could hook up with that peculiar girl, and then Force is like, nah, fuck her right now. You gotta fuck her, bro. Let's fuck all everybody. We're all about fucking, bro.
I like that more a little bit. So I went with Graham.
Oh,
But
you would. That
oh, by
boyfriend.
the way, we didn't talk about the day. I think Daniel said number one was Smooth by Santana. And
Oh,
also at one point
what?
I rapped the Eminem Forgot About Dre song. So I
Oh,
that was relevant for some
can you do
reason.
that again?
Nowadays everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move the lips, just a bunch of gibberish. Motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre.
Whoa.
That was that.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Yeah, so
And
there
you're
we
lucky
go.
you
That's what
picked a part of
happened.
the song that didn't have the F word in it.